So hello everyone. Today, as you all requested, that you are actually excited to apply to the high schools where you can have an opportunity to travel. So as opportunities platform, we have been interviewing and trying to find as many great speakers around the world who can inspire. So today I'm very excited to share with you. Today I have an opportunity to interview with Zan ma'am, who is the principal of Think Global School, a school that will give you an opportunity to travel the world during your high school. And not only that, she has an important journey in the education field, and I'm very excited to share her experiences embarking on a new journey as a position as a principal of Think Global School. This interview is meant for ambitious students and young leaders who wish to learn how to apply to schools or programs, learn new journey or enhance their leadership and personal development. If you want to find this video or interview helpful, please do give it a like, comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel so that we can come up with more innovative interviews and inspiring stories. So without any further ado, thank you so much for taking our request, ma'am. Would you like to give a small introduction to our audience, ma'am?
Yes, thank you so much for welcoming me here today. My name is Jen Buchanan, and I am the principal of Think Global School. And today is an opportunity for me to hopefully inspire you in your own educational journey and where there's opportunities to be engaged in your own community. And I'll also share a little bit about Think Global School and who we are.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm actually very excited for this interview. I have seen that your education leadership journey has taken you to remarkable institutions like Green School, Bali, Future Anything, and Think Global School. Would you like to share more about how your passion that take you to this education institutions?
Sure. I've been in education for nearly 3 decades, so that might tell you how old I am. So I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've been fortunate that my career has taken me around the world. I grew up in Perth in Western Australia, and ever since I was a young child, I always had ambitions to travel the world. The only way I really saw this happening was to find a career that would allow me to travel and explore the world. And I had a passion for education. So my two passions have come together, my education and my passion for traveling. My original career started with the United Nations back in 2000, and I was in Timor-Leste, East Timor. And then from there, I realized the power of education to be able to transform lives. I then purposely sought out schools that maybe were doing things a little bit differently. So yes, I've worked in conventional schools, traditional schools, but I've also been lucky to work in some very innovative schools, future-focused schools like Green School in Bali. I worked with a company in Australia called Future Anything, and now I'm moving back to Think Global School, which we'll talk a little bit about in this call today.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, I would like to understand from your experience, ma'am, what are the key learnings and takeaways since you have been working in this educational field a very long time in your life? What are the big life lessons or experience that you would like to share with the audience? Can you share or highlight some of the experiences that you have found very interesting and good to remember how this has guided your journey so far?
Yeah, as you say, I've been doing this for many years. My advice, or what keeps me inspired, is always a curiosity. Be curious about the world around you. And some people say to me, "Oh, you're very, very lucky. You've got to work in these amazing schools." And what I tell people is, in the background, there is lots of hard work.
Yeah.
It's not, nobody gives you the opportunities. Nobody's going to come and knock on your door and say, here is an opportunity. You have to seek out the opportunity. And I recognize I'm very fortunate. I come from a very nice place in the world, absolutely, but it still takes lots of hard work, regardless of where you're from in the world. I've done 2 master's degrees. I've done 3 undergraduate degrees. So I continually study. And I think I was talking with my family and I was saying, wow, I've been doing this career for nearly 30 years and I must have applied for thousands of jobs, thousands and thousands. My application, I've sent out to so many opportunities and I've had lots of no's, many, many times. No. And you just keep going. You keep finding the opportunity, have the courage, be curious, and just keep going. This would be my advice that has kind of gone through my career. And never let the obstacle stop your ambition. Keep going.
Yeah, understand. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, I would like to understand how do you adjust yourself to a new environment or a place where the students are coming from different educational backgrounds, and how do you deal with such students, and how you learn from their personal story as well, and what motivates you to work and give more energy to work in this educational field? Because for I believe that at certain level of your time in your life, you feel exhausted. You feel like, oh, how I can tolerate this, like kids, they are very not good in studies and all, how we can encourage them to perform well. So how do you deal with these certain situations in your life?
It's a great question. I think sometimes life can be quite overwhelming. We
Yeah.
think, wow, we have to solve all of the world's problems. But actually, we don't. We
Yes.
just have to start here. You start with one problem. In the morning when you wake up, the only thing you have to worry about is getting dressed, making your coffee, you start the day, then the next thing. And it's about just taking one thing at a time. I can say honestly, with my hand on my heart, I love my job. And if you are fortunate enough to find something in your life that you love, hold on to it tightly. Absolutely, there's going to be ups and downs, but if you can find a career that you love, that is a true blessing. And working with young people is the reason why I love my job. The young people I work with are imaginative, they creative and curious. They show up every day wanting to make the world a better place through learning more about it, being curious about the world. And I have this wonderful opportunity to walk alongside our young people and help them to explore the world, help them to learn about the world, help them to navigate the high highs and the low lows and everything in between. So, this is really what keeps me humbled in my work. It is a true privilege to walk alongside young people on their journey of discovery and learning.
Yeah, even I have been reading some of your posts and articles as well, which you have recently published. So one of them, you mainly focusing and promoting equality. So you often write about promote equality in school mainly. Can you please tell us why this battles and what other measures do you take to eliminate inequality in our society?
Yeah, it's a curious question because regardless of where we come in the world, you will come up against barriers, whether it be your gender, your nationality, your background, your education. In the world, we are diverse and we are complex. The equity piece is about giving a voice, finding the space to hear each other's stories. Each of us as people, we actually all want the same thing. You know, as humans, we want to feel that we are connected, that we have a story, that we're valued, we're loved, we're respected for who we are. We all have the same desires and wants. When we can create a space to intentionally listen to each other, to hear each other's stories, this is what connects us.
Yeah.
Story, and this is what makes us human. It is our stories and our connection which binds us together. And when we start to share our stories, we find we have far more in common than what we don't.
Yeah, that's really very, very important point to learn. Now, I have seen that you have taken the high position as a principal of Think Global. Can you tell us more about what is exactly Think Global's goal, and like what actually motivates you to join this school in comparison to the traditional school or the education institution that you have been working, and what are you hoping to learn from this new
Mm.
position?
It's interesting. In education, there's many conversations around different models of education. What is the right model? What is the best education? And what I've learned over the years is there's not one model of education that suits everybody. For some young people, a model of traditional education where you have the study of a curriculum and the rigor of exams absolutely suits some young people. But for some young people, this model of education doesn't allow them to shine, to thrive, to be their best. The education I'm involved in, I think Global School, is what we call project-based learning or place-based learning, so PBL. It revolves around a driving question. So when we're in country, we're looking at one question and we do a deep dive into that question, and it's multidisciplinary. So we don't just go and look at the question from mathematics or science or English. We look at it as a cross curricular. so that you're exploring authentically a question that is tied to the country that we are in.
How does the school and the CEO, the founder, come up with an idea about the traveling way of education? Because in our India or the place where I've been living, nobody even think about how a student can learn while traveling, immersing themselves in a new culture, living together with a diverse group of people. So how do you see this as a change in the society or in the field of education, or how the students can adjust themselves? Because most of the time they feel like that they make good friends when they are in a closed place or in a classroom, and it's very difficult for them. I have seen, even when I was traveling, some students who are introvert, it's very difficult for them to talk to someone they have never know in their life before, and they just met each other in the school, and now they have to be in the same class and have to constantly traveling. So how do you see this?
Yeah, I will talk a little bit about the founder. So
Yeah.
Joanne McPike is the woman that started Think Global School, and she really had this mission to make learning real, relevant, and deeply relational. And we can do this. Classrooms, if you think about them, we sit in a classroom, and as soon as we close the door to the classroom, we say we close the outside world off, and we make a barrier there, actual physical barrier. By being closed into a room, we close ourselves off from the outside world. But learning shouldn't be contained to a classroom. Learning is part of living and growing. And so this idea of being able to travel with students is to make their learning relevant to the place where they're living for the period of time. So what I would say to people who are listening, if we think about Joanne McPike and starting this school, to do something like this takes a lot of courage. It's much easier to make decisions on what we already know. The past is already there. We can learn from it, and we can certainly honour some of the past. But the future really belongs to the brave and to the curious, the people that are willing to try things a little bit differently. And I'd ask you to step into a space of maybe vulnerability and unknowing, because when you do something slightly different, maybe it's the first time you're trying this, and you've got to have enough courage in yourself to be strong enough to, when the people come and say, impossible, how could you possibly have a traveling school? That sounds crazy. You have to have the courage in yourself to be able to say, no, let's give this a go. And I always think in life, we're already at no. The worst is that we come back to where we already started, which was no. So why not give things an opportunity? Give it a try, something different. And so for any of the young people that are listening to this conversation, this is the one piece I encourage you to do, is to try things in a different way and to keep going. If it doesn't work the first time, try it a second time, try it a third time. We have the internet, we have so much knowledge. If you're holding one of these, a little mobile phone, you've got the world of connections at your fingertips. So the world is no longer isolated by demographics and where you live. We are globally connected. Simply when we have connection to the internet, we can connect with each other.
Yeah, actually, one thing that you really mentioned about, you have to try new things and try to be different. This is something that I always say people. It doesn't matter how big your achievements in your school or classroom you have. What is more important to your people value? You know what, ma'am? One thing that I really love about being myself and what I have been able to connect with the people. Nobody have even asked me about my academics or how I have been in my university or school. People only listen to me what I can do. And you know what, this is the harsh reality of the work. If you don't do or build something, either a company or organization, nobody going to take an interest in you. This is the reality. And the students who are listening, if you wanted to be stand out or being recognized by the world, you have to do different thing. I don't say you have to be like me or build opportunities platform. No, whatever you think can be suitable to you, whatever you are good at, try to do something. Because the only way to be successful in the life is be creative and be smart to think different from others. Because if we all try to be a job seekers, who will be the job provider in the future? And today the only way to be successful is to be entrepreneurship mindset that will help you to think more creatively.
I could not agree more. And I'm going to add something extra to that as well. Make sure whatever it is that you're doing that is creative is something that excites you.
Yeah.
If you are into your poetry, great, do your poetry. If you like filmmaking, give that a go. If you like doing social media posts, try it. I will share with you one piece of advice that my father told me when I was very young. And he said, the secret of happiness is not about how much money you have. It's about how engaged you are and engaged in your own passions. And his piece of advice was keep a project unfinished. Before you finish a project, if you're making a film or you're writing a book or you're making a painting, never ever finish it at nighttime. Finish it the next day and start a new project. Because then every morning you wake up and you've got something to be excited about.
Yeah.
It's something that fuels your passion. So whatever it is you're doing, leave it slightly unfinished and then start your next one so that you always have something exciting and purpose-driven that sits alongside all of the work you do. Because the reality is, for many people, going to work is not going to feel your passion. For many people, sometimes work is just a means, and that's okay. I think that's fine if you're going to work and it's a job and you're getting some money from that and you're contributing, but also allow some time in there for what makes you who you are. What are the passions and the interests that you have that fuel you, whether it's volunteering, going to your local church, whatever it is, involved at the mosque, involved in local community. What is it that makes you who you are?
Yeah, ma'am. Very well said. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, I would like to understand more about the learning curriculum that the Think Global School is going to adapt. So, can you tell me more about how the education will be provided while traveling the world, and how this education and how the mentors or the counselors will be assigned to each students? Like, can you tell me what is a typical day look like for the students who is very much interested or who is already get accepted to the GGS?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks a little bit different from traditional school. So, traditional school for many young people is a timetable. You maybe come in the morning and you have your mathematics, maybe your science, maybe some history, and these are discipline-based subjects. And there's absolutely a space for them. It's valuable and it tells us a lot about where we've come from, and it builds a very strong foundation to go to the next step. The curriculum at Think Global School is slightly different. So in Botswana, where we're going in July and August, our curriculum is around the data collection, understanding ecology and storytelling. And we use elements of mathematics, literature, English as a multimodal disciplinary approach. So we're not just looking at a mathematics or an English, we're doing it together. So as we're out on the land and maybe collecting the data, we're working with local people and understanding the complexities of maybe the tourism industry or the sustainability, and we're learning through real world projects. They take up maybe 2 or 2.5 days in the week. We also have traditional subjects as well. So once a week, you'll go to a mathematics class. And in that mathematics class, you'll learn more. In Botswana, we're going to learn a deeper dive into data collection to support the work that we're doing through what we call our modules. We also have a literature class where we learn research skills and writing skills. And then we have what is unique in our program, we have an advisory program. So every student is in a small group of maybe 4 or 5 students, and they will have an educator with them. And that is their person they check in with. They set goals with that person, they review their work, and that person is their support every day through their time at TGS. Because for many young people, being away from your family and living in a small community, you need that extra support to make sure that you're on track, not only with your work, but also emotional stability and making sure you're feeling connected to your community.
Yes, it's very important that not only physically but mentally you are being in that place. So then only you can be able to enjoy or learn more. Because if you are present physically but not mentally, it's very difficult for you to enjoy the best of your learning. So, ma'am, I would like to understand more about the students. They are very curious about how does TGS select the student? What is an ideal student or a teacher that you think who is very much interested to work in Think Global School, or how they can stand out in their application process when the applications opens, so that they can have higher chances to be get accepted?
Absolutely. It's a very, very small number that gets selected. We only have 30 students in the year. You need to be in the equivalent of grade 11 or grade 12. We're looking in grade 11, generally 15 or 16 years of age. And the reason we are quite strict with the age is because we're all living together. And it's very difficult if we have somebody that is too young or somebody that is too old these young people are around the same age. So in year 11, you are 15 or 16, and in year 12 or grade 12, you're 16, maybe 17. So they are the ages that we're looking at. In answer to the question, the students who are curious about the world, and I mean curious, that want to be those that would be willing to go and live in a country that is different from their own. We have had students from all over the world, from Afghanistan to Mexico to India, Australia, the United States, so many countries. For the first time this year, we have a student coming from Zambia, which is the first time we've had a student from this country. So every year, students from all over the world. But the one thing that they all have is that something extra, that curiosity, that sense of that real wanting to understand the world in a deeper sense. So I would say to anybody, when just keep looking at our website. When the application's open, you can follow us on social media or keep coming back to the website. When the applications are open, have some time understanding our program, but also understanding for you what it is that you want from TGS. Yes, it is a school that travels, but are you willing to give up a traditional education? Are you willing to give up connections with your family throughout different times of the year? If you're heavily involved in your sport, are you willing to kind of sacrifice? So it takes every opportunity also has another side to it. So you have to be honest of just what it is that you want out of the program, honest with yourself first, and then start to look at what are the superpowers that you have. Are you somebody that is really good at connecting with people? You love conversations and you're curious. Is this your superpower? Are you somebody that is deeply engaged with the world, understands local politics and economies, and you want to deepen this? What is it that is your superpower that you would bring into the organization and into the school?
Yeah, definitely. Even one thing I wanted to inform the student, don't think as an opportunity to travel the world or you are going for a picnic, maybe going to a beach. Think it is a way that you are getting an opportunity to your younger self, where you will be learning from the people around the world. Think here, not everyone are privileged enough to travel in such a young age to all many countries. And not only that, you will be surrounded with so many innovative minds, which actually helps you to think more creatively. Because what happens, we all are living here in India or in different, we are surrounded with the same group of people. Our thinking is also very much similar in a way. And if you are surrounded with new people, different people, you will learn different perspective. For example, there are some things or topics that you don't agree on. Someone, oh, say, oh, we are not agree. You will learn how to be respectful and how to give respect to things which you even don't like. And this all are the life lessons you can never be able to learn in the classroom. So definitely give it a try, and I'm very excited. Then the applications will be open. I wish you all the students best of luck who are very much interested to apply to Think Global School. Ma'am, I don't know if you would like to share with us what will be the application process look like so that the students can prepare in advance for themselves to be ready for the application process.
What I would say between now and the application process is happening is just build your own profile.
Okay.
So already you maybe start a LinkedIn profile, maybe you're starting some small videos around where you live, opportunities that you've had where you've engaged maybe with your local community, maybe you volunteered. What are the things that you're doing? And start to keep all of that. So
Okay.
you can build a portfolio. There's not one perfect example of like, here is the perfect Think Global student application. When I say with anyone, start to build your profile now. So if you're not on LinkedIn, maybe build a profile on LinkedIn. Start to connect with other people. LinkedIn is amazing because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can easily connect with other people and follow people and build a network. You can share your thoughts on there. So start to build your profile now.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important. Even this is one of the most important tool that I use every day. And I feel like that I know people are very much addicted to YouTube shorts, but trust me, once you start learning how the LinkedIn work, you will be happy to be. And even one thing I wanted to tell you, how I've been connected with Zen Mem just because of LinkedIn. I don't have her email ID or anything to contact her, just because LinkedIn has suggested me her profile, and then I just send a connection request. And most important thing, your online presence, what you see, what you do, can give you an idea about what is the personality of this person is. That's also very important in our life. So what you consume, what you do can give an clear picture about the someone and the admission officer, who is this person. And that is the beauty of this world. You like the person who is going to judge you, they don't have to ask for 30 essays or 10 essays about you. They can just go and check your online presence, what you post, what are the things that you write, and they get an idea about the person. That's more important.
And what I would say is maybe have a look at some examples on there of people that you can not copy, but use
Yeah.
as inspiration. So the first time I had to give a talk, I had to give a presentation for 1 hour and I had no idea. I was like, whoa, how do I do this? And I spent hours on YouTube looking at other talks and I would break it down. And I would go, right, in the first minute, the person moves to the left of the stage, they hold up their left arm, like analyze, 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 and just until you have the information there. Absolutely, you can do the formal study. I agree. Go to university if you can, but there's so much information out there. If you have an ambition, find somebody that is already doing it and just analyze how they're doing it. Why are they successful? Do they post every day? Do they put out newsletter articles? What is it this person is doing that gives them a voice, and use them to help you in your own journey? You don't have to start from the beginning. You can use this as an inspiration. Find someone else to follow.
Yeah, and definitely. And there are all the tools available like LinkedIn or maybe Google platforms, like if you are on Twitter or maybe Reddit as well. People think that there are no resources to connect with people. No, there are. You just have to find out what you are good at or what you're hoping to learn and try to put this keyword in the search bar in the LinkedIn. For example, I'm very much interested in technology. I will put the technology, or for example, the country where I'm from. Then you will see the good profiles and you can check the profile, what have been they doing, what are their qualities and all, and then start preparing a short introduction. One thing that I say, very thankful to the LinkedIn, they give you 30 characters of limit, so that will help you to frame a short message that helps you to connect with that person. Use that opportunity. If you just randomly send a request, it's very high chances nobody will accept you until you have a very great profile in LinkedIn. But if you are just a newcomer or beginner, then you can start doing this. And of course, you have to learn from the person. One thing I have also seen in my life is that if you don't give something to the person, don't be interested to help you. So the life is all about give and take. So if you are wanted something from someone, you have to give something. It's not something that you have to give someone like money or any. What is something that you can teach? For example, Jan ma'am is giving me 1 hour of precious life out of the busy day. What I can give her back in my story or my journey. So that is something you also have to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. That is such a valid point. The last part I will tell with people that are listening is if you are a young person, if you're listening to this and you're under, say, the age of 25, what you have that I don't have is youth.
Yeah.
You are still young. And when Ankit reached out to me and said, would you do this? The reason that I was like, sure, I will do this is because you're young. And older people like myself, we actually genuinely want to help the next generation. And I would gratefully give up an hour of my time to be able to be here today because I know that I'm speaking to young people. So leverage your youth and just ask people for their help. There's nothing wrong with asking and sharing your story as well. So if you start to volunteer, tell somebody, yes, I'm volunteering here and this is my ambition. But yes, be giving back as well to your local community and building your story around that is probably a good way to start.
So, I think this is the very important question, ma'am. Most of the students are very much interested how to find out their passion. Like they have tried everything in their life, but at the end of the day, end up realizing that this is not something that they are mean for in their life. So, how to find out our passion? What is a driving force for them? Or maybe how did you find out that you are very much interested in educational field, and how you can be a top in the field that you are? Because I think that if you are doing something you are not enjoying, you won't be able to continue it for a longer time. So what is the advice for such people who are listening to you?
Oh, that's such a great question. I can speak with many years of experience now in that your passion doesn't have to be something like huge. It doesn't have to be something that is going to be for your entire life. Throughout my career, I can't even tell you how many jobs I've had, maybe 20, 30, like so many jobs. And when I was young, People told me, I should get my good job, I should go to university. I was the first person in my family to go to university. And then you're expected maybe then to get married and you have to have children and you have to, like, this is the path that most people follow. I just knew this wasn't for me. And I think it comes back to those ideas around just be curious. Finding your passion will be maybe one passion that lasts for a short period of time. For me, I've done everything from I've studied animation, I've done scuba diving. Sometimes I get up every morning and I go running. Maybe this lasts for 1 or 2 years and then I switch and then I do something else. I think just being interested and trying different things. One thing I will share with people though, if you think about this is our circle where we all are here now. We all have a circle of experience. Every time you try something new, when you step out of your comfort zone, when you do something, be it reach out to a principal of a school like Ann Kidd did and ask, can you be on the webinar? Every time you try something new, your circle of experience expands and you can never ever go back to who you were. So every time you try something that challenges you, having a conversation with a stranger in a cafe, publishing a poem on your website, every time you do something that you go, wow, that made me feel a little bit vulnerable, that scared me, you expand who you are, you expand yourself, and you can never ever go back to who you were before that.
Yeah, that is the advice. Now I would like to understand, ma'am, the people who are very much struggling right now to keep up with the technology, the education. Like for example, there's so much of unemployment, and people often say that try to build and startup company, don't do a job. So how do students can train, educate themselves in a competitive world right now where they can get a job or maybe start something venture? Maybe how about sharing an experience being a person coming from Australia region? Not many people actually think about Australia. People often say go to USA, Canada, or maybe European to build something. So how did you build so many life lessons, educational journey coming from a country which is not very well known by the people around the world?
What I would suggest for people is think about again, what is your superpower?
Yeah.
We often think about like a job will ask you, okay, let me see an example. One of the jobs I did is in a cafe, and it was one of the, like a restaurant when I was younger, and definitely one of the hardest jobs I had. And many mornings getting up at 5 a.m. to go to the restaurant. My job was emptying the bins, cleaning the tables. But every experience you grow from this. And what I learned from this experience very early on was that I'm very good at interacting with people. So when something's going wrong, I usually can have a bit of a smile and I'm like, let's not worry about it. And I realized very early that this maybe was one of my superpowers. I like being around people. And I knew that then when I was going for my next job, like I had to share this with people. Like this was one of my superpowers. So I say to people, find out what your superpower is and share that when you're looking at your next job or you want to start your own business. What is the bit of you that you're going to bring? What makes you different from the 100 other people that are applying for this job? I'll give some really crazy examples. But I remember one job that I applied for. Maybe they had 100 applications, sent in a nice handwritten letter. I made a piece of artwork and I made something quite creative. So my application was a little bit crazy, but I wanted to stand out from the crowd. So I wanted to make sure they read my application. Often back in the days, there would be DVDs and CDs. I would often include different media in my application. So for people that are applying for jobs, use a platform like Canva and maybe record part of your application, embed the video in there so that people can go click and make it easy. They can watch your video, practice it, get it looking good, make sure you don't have your dirty laundry in the background, make your video look professional and embed that in your application letter so people can click onto your video. Send that email out to 100 people and then send it out to another 100 people. Just keep trying and don't let any no's put you back. Just take a no as an opportunity to try somewhere else.
I have a follow-up question with that, ma'am. There are thousands of students whose English is not the first language of communication. So they
Yeah.
sometimes feel challenging or they feel confident enough to record a video. Like they can be good at speaking to someone, but they are not feeling comfortable to recording themselves in front of camera. So what is the advice for those students, ma'am?
So record your scenery shot first, go around show, and then spend some time and do a voiceover. And then
Oh,
put your video together. So read off a script, take your time, read it slowly. Use ChatGPT to check your grammar, your English. The tools are out there. So I speak a little bit of Indonesian. And when I have to do something in Indonesian, I always check it first on Google Translate, and then I practice before I have to do it in another language.
okay, definitely. That's a very good advice. Even one thing you mentioned about the scenery, this is something I used to do in my lot of videos. Like there are some applications where they're asking, and you know what? One thing I liked about nowadays in the application process, they will give you a chance to share your story. And I feel like that when you have an opportunity to speak for yourself in a video, that is the winning factor in your application. Because in written application, they don't get an idea about who you are, but when you are recording yourself, they first look your who you are. Do you have a smile on your face? Do you speak confidently? Your body posture, personality, everything they can judge just only 1 minute or 2 minutes video. So that is the very very important thing people needs to learn. Even I say this is the one of the most important skill that students should need to learn in this 2025 generation.
Yep. Make yourself stand out
Yeah.
from everybody else in the crowd.
So now I would like to say that your smartphone, your technology is in your hand. If you train your social media, what you like to view, they will give you only such type of content. So educate your social media. What is something that you want to be in your future? What is something you wanted to learn? And then they will put the same kind of content in your feed. And that's how you can get to know. So you don't have to always find out the people who can teach you something. So is there anything final advice that you wanted to give my our audience, opportunities platform, or the students who are thinking about maybe just joining the Think Global School or wanted to be a successful like you in younger age? What is something that they can do that makes them different from other people?
Yeah. So three things.
Yeah.
Find out first what it is that is your superpower, your passion. What is it that you enjoy? And it doesn't have to be amazing. It could be something quite simple. Maybe you just enjoy doing little sketches. Maybe you enjoy cooking meals. What do you enjoy? Number two, build up your presence on social media, be it in YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn. Build up a platform online and share your story. The stories are what connects us. And then for any school, like Think Global School, United World College, just follow online, get connected. And on LinkedIn, go and find the people at those schools, connect with those people, and make yourself known. I often think of, there might not be a spare chair. If you think of a table and all the chairs are around the table, often the chairs are already full. What you've got to do is get in there and promote yourself and make yourself known to people at these places. If you know that you want to be here in 2 years' time, you want to be at this point, what are the steps you need to put in place to make sure you achieve that goal?
Yeah, and actually, this
So
is a
what
very beautiful line, ma'am, that you have mentioned. You have to be known by people. That is something that I say. Many people ask me how I become successful. Even I don't go to a big college in the USA. Even I'm from a small village in India. I just simply say I understand what I'm good at and how to network with people. Because remember, in this world, if you don't find out how you can be unique, then nobody will come. And this is a very, very important thing. If you think that God will come to your planet or your society and life could turn around, no, nothing going to happen until unless you take a step in your life and come out of your comfort zone, because you are the person who can make or break your life.
Absolutely. That is so correct. When you hear of lucky people, they've made their own luck. Like they're the hard workers. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking your time out of your busy day. And I'm very, very excited for sharing this interview with people. So, for those people who are listening to this interview, thank you so much. And do not forget to encourage by leaving a like or comment what is something that you learn or what is something that you're interested to see more such informative videos or webinars in the future. You can also always comment on this, and we can try to put all the social media links of the Think Global School, or we will inform you all in our WhatsApp community whenever the applications will open. But you can also follow them on the social media. They they are present on Instagram, LinkedIn. So whenever the application is open, they will inform you. So thank you once again for watching this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Thank you so much.